Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a todos. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Shear and I am the Spiritual Director and Founding Minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. Today is Saturday, September 5th, 2020. And we are continuing with our annual theme, which is 2020 Spiritual Vision. The topic for this month of September is facing the fear. And the topic for this week is a question of faith. So if you hear any background noise, please know that I have two cats in my room that are knocking over everything while they are playing. So pardon the background noise. I have the air conditioning on and they are enjoying being in here and being a little bit of a distraction, to say the least. So let's get started with today's service, and we'll start with the opening as we do each week, and that's with a spiritual practice called affirmative prayer, which is also known as spiritual mind treatment. So this is a powerful tool and a practical tool that shifts our consciousness so that we are open and available to accept the good that is already present in our life. It aligns our thoughts with all good. So let's move into today's service with intention, as we do each week, from a reading from the Creative Thought magazine. And I'll be reading from September 2nd, 2014. I'll just remind you that spiritual mind treatment is always done in the first person. So I invite you to close your eyes and to take these words as your own, if you so choose. I am. Beyond all appearances, there is only God. One power, one presence, one source of all life, be it invisible or visible. This is God. Its vibrant energy and love pulsate throughout my entire being, for it is all that I am. I recognize that mighty moving presence of spirit in all that I am and all that I do. It lifts my soul to the heights of spiritual realization and relieves me of any burdens I may carry. In the light of God, I stand tall in the confidence that I am pure of heart, sound in mind, and strong in spirit. I am alive in the allness and fullness of the one life that continually beckons me to return home to the kingdom of heaven that eternally resides within me. My faith is impenetrable, for I know with every fiber of my being that I am an extraordinary expression of God, perfect, whole, and complete in every way. I have everything I require to walk this golden path of my life, for all that God is, I am. In this sacred moment, I am so grateful that I am fully aware of my oneness with God and my oneness with all beings. Knowing that life unfolds with profound beauty and grace, I release my word to the law of mind, and it is done. And so it is. And that was submitted by a licensed religious science practitioner, Dale Olansky, from Palm Desert, California. So let's review our purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have a grand purpose each week, and that is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. And we do this through our vision, which is to educate and support each other so we can create the life we desire that works for us right now. And we do this by means of our mission, which is to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. I'd also like to take this time to welcome everyone, whether it is your first time to any Centers for Spiritual Living, or if it's the first time that you have joined us here online with the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta, or if you are returning and have joined us before either live or on broadcast through Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. So welcome everyone. No matter what your background is, know that you are welcome here with us. And I thank you because you are valued and you are valuable, as we all are. So let me just find my screen here again. And I'd like to just remind you, as I do each week, that we are a teaching, a philosophy called the science of mind. And it's a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom. We offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth. And we honor diversity in all aspects so that we can see and appreciate the great oneness that already exists everywhere and within everyone. Dr. Ernest Holmes studied both Eastern and Western spiritual texts when he created the science of mind back in the early 1920s. And this teaching focuses on both the individual use of thoughts and this powerful thing called the mind. So each week we offer an inspirational message, and normally it's done at a downtown restaurant in Puerto Vallarta. But as we are still observing the safety measures of social distancing and the requirement to wear a mask at all times when we are outside our home, I am coming to you from my home. And once we are back out into the public, hopefully that will be in late October or early November, then we'll all be welcome to join at the mom and pop style restaurant that we have been enjoying in the past. And further updates on the exact date will be posted both on our website and on Facebook. So look forward to that. So if you have any questions or comments in the meantime, then please send me a message or post them here wherever it is that you're viewing this message. So, what is faith? And how do you define faith? And more importantly, what does faith look like and feel like when actualized? Faith moves mountains, and faith without works is dead, which means faith is not passive, but rather it's a vibrant and active demonstration of the divine showing up in, through, with, and as us. In my recent knee surgery, I lost a little bit of faith that the anesthesiologist would keep me sedated throughout the entire surgery. I should have been praying to know this truth rather than repeating my request that I didn't see, hear, feel, or remember the surgery. That was my mom's belief, and I didn't need to take it on. But while losing faith, what could possibly happen? I'll tell you more about that in a little while. In the meantime, I'd like to share with you this quote on faith from Dr. Ernest Holmes. He says, "I live in the faith that there is a presence and a power greater than I am that nurtures and supports me in ways I could not even imagine." So this month we are focusing on facing the fear. And why is it that one person's prayers are answered while another's remains unanswered? It can't be that God desires more good for one and less for another. It must be that all people, in our approach to reality, receive results not because of what we believe in, but because of our belief. Dr. Ernest Holmes says that faith is an affirmative mental approach to reality. So let's look a little deeper with these 3 key points. First, in order to have faith, we must have a conviction that all is well. Secondly, we'll talk a little bit about relying on faith. And finally, we'll talk about faith and knowing. So in order to have faith, we must have a conviction that all is well. In order to keep faith, we must allow nothing to enter our thought which will weaken that conviction. Faith is built up from belief, acceptance, and trust. Whenever anything enters our thoughts which destroys in any degree one of these attitudes, to that extent, faith is weakened, says Dr. Ernest Holmes. I was convinced that because my mother woke up during her surgeries, that I too would wake up during my surgery. My belief was based on my mom's experience, and I accepted that I would be susceptible to the same. And I didn't fully trust the anesthesiologist. This is what Joel Osteen says about faith. I believe if you keep your faith, you keep trust, you keep the right attitude. If you're grateful, you'll see God open up new doors. So I am grateful that I have gratitude, even though I lost faith just for a little bit. So relying on faith. I received an email and subsequent phone call from a friend in New York City. She asked me how I found the faith to just pack up everything back home and move here to Mexico. I told her my story about how I came to a ministers' convention here in 2015 and decided right then and there that I would be returning soon to open a spiritual center here in Puerto Vallarta. At the end of this month, I'll be celebrating 3 years of living here, and on October 3rd, the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta will be celebrating our 3rd anniversary. My faith in this was unwavering. My friend let me know how much my story renewed her faith in her upcoming similar move. So here's another example of faith. During my surgery, I woke up while the surgeon was drilling my knee. I didn't feel pain because they also gave me a nerve block, but I was aware of the surgery. And in my mind, I had asked in Spanish for more medicine to put me back to sleep. My faith that I would be taken care of was stronger than my fear. Now, I know they didn't hear me because I was only speaking it in my mind and not out loud, because I was still in that semi-unconscious but accidental awareness phase. The one key thing that had let the doctor know that I had actually woken up during surgery, the following day I asked him, "Were you listening to Pink Floyd singing Another Brick in the Wall?" Well, he laughed and he was a little embarrassed, and he said, "Yes, that calms me down. I love that music." So I am very grateful that he has good taste in music. I love Pink Floyd. But I'm also very grateful that somehow they knew to give me more medicine to put me back to sleep. And if you would like to read a little bit more about my experience of this accidental awareness and being aware of what we are aware of, you can check out my blog on our website, www.cslpv.org. Martin Luther King Jr. said this about faith: "Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase." So that's kind of like the process that I took and that my friend will soon be taking of moving here. We don't know at that time what it would look like, but we have that faith to take that first step, to pack up and get on that plane and arrive, and then take the next step and the next step. We don't need to know the whole staircase or the whole plan for the future, just going one step at a time. Faith and knowing. Faith does an interesting dance with knowing. When we see that our faith is rewarded with manifestation, it allows our faith to become knowing. Knowing is faith that has become supercharged. I know that our bodies naturally want to heal, and I have faith in the work that the surgeon did on my knee, and that it is now healing. I have restored my faith. So in closing, our call to action. Faith is in divine spirit, regardless of our belief system. It's able to cause surprisingly positive effects on its bearers. Regardless of what religion people belong to, they all experience the same beliefs, the same benefits from having faith. In particular, believers have longer lives, lower blood pressure, and lower rates of anxiety and depression when we have faith. And in the words of George Michael's, I gotta have faith, faith, faith. So, I'd like to leave you with our affirmation for today. Faith is a knowledge within the heart beyond the reach of proof. And this is now our time that we would generally pass around our basket for offertory. But in this time of doing our spiritual inspirational lecture online, we ask that you go at this time to our website, which is www.cslpv.org. And on the landing page, you will see a Donate Now button that will direct you to our PayPal account. So please know that your generous gifts are appreciated and valued. We are grateful for you coming and receiving this, as well as grateful for that reciprocal of receiving your gifts in kind. So whether it's $5 or $500 or just the cost of a cup of coffee, know that we are grateful. So as you are donating to our PayPal account now, I ask that you repeat after me these donation affirmative, the offertory affirmations. So I know that my giving blesses and multiplies. All that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. And together we say, I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So please keep the faith. Know that you are loved. You're a blessing. Thank you for joining me here today, or whichever day you are viewing this. Namaste.